Hi again, everyone. Let's start with the intros. And while we wait for more people, thank you for being punctual. Uh, Good evening once again, and welcome to this event. My name is Shilpa Rangnekar, and I work with Gallery Arc as the Sales and Admin Manager. I'll also be your host this evening and moderator for this conversation. On behalf of team at Gallery Arc, I would really like to thank you for joining us this evening for a chat with Deepak Agastya, Rugen Rathod, Teja Gavankar, and Vimalam Balia. We are proud to represent these four uniquely talented and emerging artists as part of our gallery roster. They are also exhibiting their works on our ongoing show, Hindsight 2020. If you haven't had a chance to visit the show, please do have a look at our online viewing room through our website and other social media channels, Instagram. For those of you who are in Baroda, the gallery is now open through prior appointments. We are taking all the precautions and following all the COVID protocols. So please feel free to WhatsApp or email or call us, and please do visit the show. With this evening session, we wanted to give you an insight and a deep dive into the artistic practices of these artists. And they have shared it in their own words as well. What drew us to these artist practice, apart from their apart from the talent, was also their obvious strong approach to their practices and a very strong conviction to their practices, which is also seen in their works. And we thought revisiting this journey might be a very interesting way to relook at their artistic practices. The format, I'll also guide you through the flow of the event. We'll begin with a video of our assistant curator, Ayushi Beneval, in conversation with each of the artists. The videos for Deepak, Rugen, and Bimal were shot in the gallery. So I'm sure you will get a glimpse of the show. Unfortunately, with Teja, she's based in Bombay, and due to COVID, we could not get her here, but we are still working on it. And therefore, her video was shot on Zoom, the most known word now, the most commonly heard word, other than lockdown and quarantine. Following the video, we'll open up the floor to audience questions. I'm sure you all are familiar with the rules of webinar by now, but just to remind you again, you can send your questions through the Q&A section channel at the bottom of the window. These questions will be fielded through this channel, and we are also currently live on Facebook. We'll also be taking questions there. One small request, if you have headphones, please use them for optimal audio quality. Guys, welcome to this gathering again, and we are grateful for your time. We're going to get right into it with the artists in conversation with Ayushi.
Everybody, like whoever comes, sees your works, visits the shows or the works that you made, they're very curious about as to what these visuals are because they can't see a particular thing in the work, like an object or a figure or a shape. So my first question is like a FAQ sort of a question. What drew you to this non-representative style that you currently work with? Like, could you explain a little about the visuals?
तो इनिशियली जो प्रैक्टिस मेरे चालू हुआ था जो ड्राइंग्स फिगरेटिव ड्राइंग्स और ऑब्जेक्ट स्टडी उसके बाद जो कॉलेज में जो प्रैक्टिस होता है बैचलर से तो वही प्रैक्टिस में मैं रहा था कि धीरे धीरे जो फिगरेटिव ड्राइंग के साथ में ऑब्जेक्ट स्टडी उसका मूवमेंट उसको कैसे कैसे देख सकते हो उसका मटेरियल वाइज ये सब स्टडी करते करते धीरे धीरे मुझे वो ऑब्जेक्ट धीरे धीरे कम होते तो उसका एसेंस और उसका पीछे क्या हो सकते हैं उसका मेरा रिएक्शन क्या है तो उसका टुवर्ड्स उस तरफ मैंने ऑब्जर्वेशन करते गए तो ज़्यादा मैं ऑब्जेक्ट्स के बारे में सोचना अपने आप वो कम हो गया कि जो जैसे चल रहा था। तो धीरे धीरे वो उसका बैकग्राउंड मतलब पीछे जाने के लिए मैं ट्राई कर रहा था कि ऐसे इमोशनली मैं कैसे कनेक्टेड हूँ, वो अननोइंगली वो सब ऐड होते जा रहा था, मैं ज़्यादा रजिस्टर नहीं कर रहा। और धीरे धीरे वो प्रोसेस में जैसे डेवलप होते आया हुआ है, तो वैसे ही डेवलप किया कि मैं कुछ स्पेसिफिकली उसको इंटेंशनली मैं पहले सोच के ऐसे ही बनाऊँ ऐसे कुछ।
So it's like the essence of the subject, which remained, like the shape and the object went away, but it's actually capturing the essence that you are.
हाँ वो भी है उसके साथ कि वो एसेंस मतलब वो पहले इनिशियल पार्ट था कि वो मेरा समझने का, धीरे धीरे वो अभी एडिशनल काफी चीजें ऐड होते जा रहे हैं कि मे बी स्टिल आई एम आल्सो फाइंडिंग आउट क्या क्या हो सकता है क्योंकि चेंजेस होता रहता है, सो आई कांट से ये ही है प्रॉब्लम।
So there's also a lot of patterns and repetitions in your work. Making a line over and over again. There's also like shapes, spaces. All of these can be traced in your early works as well. So could you talk a bit about what your early practice was like and what you were exploring then? How you sort of reached here? And interestingly, also color seems to be sort of missing or seems to have dropped out of your practice right now. Could you talk a little bit about that as well?
मैं कॉलेज जैसे प्रैक्टिस रहा, मैं यहाँ पे आया, यहाँ पे प्रैक्टिस मैंने कॉलेज में चालू किया, मुझे इनपुट्स भी मिलता था प्रैक्टिस में, ऑब्जर्वेशनली भी चालू किया था, ऑब्जर्वेशन से क्या क्या हो सकता है कि मैं जो देखता वो मुझे कैसे इन्वॉल्व करे, खुद एक पर्सनल ओपिनियन का तरफ से मैंने चालू किया कि कैसे कैसे मैं देख सकता हूँ, मुझे कैसे इन्वॉल्व कर रहा है, तो आगे वालों को कैसे वो इन्वॉल्व कर सकता है, एक स्पेस का अंदर एक काम आने के बाद वो स्पेस कैसे एक्टिव होगा, ये सब जो एक क्वेश्चन तरीका था, एक क्वेश्चन का एक आइडिया था, क्वेश्चन ऐसे ऐसे आ रहा था, वो मुझे थोड़ा पुश करने के लिए हेल्प किया कि क्या 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 हो रहा है। तो ऐसे मतलब मैंने ऐसे कुछ नहीं है कि पैटर्न के बारे में सोचा था या ये पैटर्न है, मैं वैसे नहीं सोचा था, मे बी विजन ऐसे पैटर्न का एक उसमें एक डायमेंशन है, तो मैंने उसका बारे में नोटिस किया था, बट मैं तो इंडिविजुअली चीजों को ट्रीट करता हूँ।
So there is no pre-planning.
देयर इज नो फ्रॉम माय साइड, जो देखने वालों को मे बी विजुअल क्योंकि कुछ है नहीं उस पे से लोगों को लगता है, बट है काफी चीजें, इट्स यूनिवर्सल आई थिंक, सो कोई भी अपने तरीके से कैसे भी इंटरप्रेट कर सकता है।
So what is this? Are these the objects that you spend time with, or what are these works?
मैं वन टू वन कॉन्वर्सेशन जैसे काम करता हूँ कि इवन मैं सिर्फ ड्राइंग नहीं, मैं पहले बुक में भी काम करता था, तो इंस्टॉलेशंस में भी काम करता था, कि पहले मुझे लगता है कि वो सब्जेक्टिव का सब्जेक्टिव जैसे कैसे ड्राइव कर सकता है, एक सिंपल एज अ सरफेस इटसेल्फ सब्जेक्ट समथिंग, सो ऐसे चीजों भी मुझे इन्वॉल्व करने के लिए हेल्प करता है। So I thought that why don't you think about fundamental stuff more than a conceptual way. So मुझे लगता है कि वो बेसिक से उसको समझने के लिए ट्राई करें, तो मैं ट्राई करता था कि एक ही चीज को रिपीट करके देखूं, या हर टाइम क्या क्या चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, मैं ट्राई करूँ, रजिस्टर करूँ, मैं टाइम पीरियड जो जितने टाइम में मैं कर रहा हूँ तो क्या क्या चेंजेस हो रहे हैं वही रिपीट देखो, रिपीट करो देखो, रिपीट करो देखो। So when you start from one point to another point, you start from मतलब पहले आप जैसे चालू करते हो वो पहुंचने तक ये जगह बदल जाते हैं, मतलब तुम लोगों को एक पीछे जाना है, सो वैसे हर लाइन का रजिस्ट्रेशन मेरे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट, मैं इंडिविजुअली ट्राई करता हूँ वैसे देखने, बट विजुअल बिकम समथिंग which I was not expecting that, but I'll get things from it.
So they're not exactly repetitions to you. Each is different. That's what we're trying to do.
For now, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll find out something after that. I don't know exactly. So
What about your palette?
palette, हाँ, color का बारे में पूछ रहे थे। तो एक्चुअली कलर्स है, कलर ऐसे नहीं है, है नहीं। आप देख सकते हैं कि काफी कलर्स इसमें आप रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं। तो मैं ट्राई करता हूँ कि कलर को पहले समझूं कि वो मोनो कलर भी हो सकता है, इसमें एक टोन्स है, काफी सारा अलग 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 उसमें डायमेंशन को क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। तो मैं लाइन का थ्रू जा रहा हूँ, लाइन में कैसे मैं टोन को देख सकता हूँ, एक सरफेस का थ्रू जा रहा हूँ, या कोई एक थॉट का थ्रू जा रहा हूँ कि उसको कैसे कलर को मैं देख सकता हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे कुछ कलर का इतना एक्सपोजर नहीं, मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ कलर को पहले समझूं। So, धीरे धीरे मैं टुवर्ड्स कलर को भी समझने का कोशिश करता हूँ। So, यही है।
So it's not like the colors missing.
No, colors है, colors variations of colors है।
It's like there are your black, so many blacks, and you're trying to understand the what color means. So you're not kind of rejecting colors. It may
No.
come.
It may come later, but I'm not specifically thinking about that. Even if you ask me a question that gray to use, there is no intention from my side. So that is what I'm telling. The process कैसे गया मैं उसके साथ ही गया, क्योंकि मैं ज़्यादा ड्राइंग में इन्वॉल्व था कि वो एक जो कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस में वो आया हुआ। अभी मैं रजिस्टर करने जाता हूँ तो भी मुझे कुछ एक सॉलिड उसका आंसर नहीं मिला, टू बी फ्रैंक। सो मैं वो प्रोसेस के साथ ही ट्राई कर रहा हूँ, तो वैसे जा रहा, तो अभी उसका अंदर कलर को फाइंड आउट करने की कोशिश।
But it's kind of like, you're saying your practice is kind of intuitional. There's no pre-planning to as a pen to paper later you begin working, with what something has triggered at that moment. Usko leke you run with it, right? So do the changes in your life and your surroundings, do they impact you, personal changes or like things happening in the world? What role do they play? How does it factor or does it not factor?
मतलब मैं ज़्यादा जो ज़्यादा चीज़ में वन टू वन कॉन्वर्सेशन करते करते मैं काम करता हूँ, तो मैं बाहर की चीज़ ज़्यादा इतना इन्वॉल्व नहीं करता। अननोइंगली इनके से वो हो सकता है, बट आई डोंट थिंक दैट ऐसे मैं कर रहा हूँ, सोच रहा हूँ, बट आई थिंक वो मैं करते करते मैं खुश हो जाता हूँ, तो वो मेरे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट जो वो एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ। तो इंडिविजुअल मटेरियल के साथ भी, वुड के साथ मैं काम कर रहा हूँ। मैं सोचता था वुड को मैं कैसे समझ सकता हूँ पहले, मोर देन वो कुछ बनेगा उसका पहले कि मैं वुड के साथ कैसे इन्वॉल्व हो सकता हूँ, वुड को कैसे समझ सकता हूँ। वही एक एक प्रैक्टिस है। मैं ड्राइंग में भी वैसे ही ट्राई करता हूँ, हर ड्राइंग में मुझे ऐसे ही लगता है कि अभी नया ड्राइंग करने में भी ऐसा लगता है ये क्या अभी करूँगा। सो इट्स लाइक मटेरियल, व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड मटेरियल एटलीस्ट यू नो दैट ये मटेरियल का वेट क्या है, मतलब उसका मतलब क्या है, एटलीस्ट तेरे लिए फर्स्ट। सो आई ट्राई टू अडैप्ट दैट इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है इन अदर वेज, ये वुड है और ये एटलीस्ट वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग का हिसाब से कि मैं उसका वैल्यू को समझने का कोशिश
Kind of what its lines are, it's like you're trying to understand your personality or something.
still it's already exists, वो है, वुड में अपना एक लाइन से अपना फॉर्म, मतलब उसको मतलब मैं कुछ उसको बदल नहीं रहा, उसको मैं कुछ छेड़छाड़ ज़्यादा नहीं कर रहा, तो मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ उसको देखूँ वो चेंजेस कैसे कैसे मैं फिजिकली करने का वो रजिस्टर कर पाऊँ। जस्ट दैट कॉन्वर्सेशन आई ट्राई टू से, दैट्स इट, दैट मोर देन मतलब मुझे तो लगता है एक्सपीरियंस में ट्राई करता हूँ कि शेयर कर मुझे जो
Like you're capturing an experience.
yes in other।
So, Mugen, I've known you since many years now, and people now recognize you as an artist who works with ecology or environmental issues, and nature plays a great role in your practice. But where did all this start? Like, what inspired you to start working with issues of environment and ecology? What was the first work addressing these issues? Any special experiences or challenges that you faced while working?
This goes to my childhood memories and the experiences. Because when we shifted from old city to the new part of Ahmedabad, that was like when I was very small, and I made new friends, and we used to go near a forest, which was like very close to my house, and we all kids used to go to play this Amli Pipli sort of games that people don't play right now. Playing, we just entered a campus, and that was CEE, Center for Environment Education, and just discovered there is something like that, and somebody just called us in, like, hey kids, just come over here, and they took us around, and we saw what is happening. We didn't register, but that was something like we saw a certain thing for the first time, and they showed us some documentaries on environment and other thing, and also Sundarban करके एक जगह है, which is also quite close to my new house, where my parents used to take me, and I started loving that place. So there was like animal show, snake show, so that we used to love, and that was quite educating. So like there are some band towards nature, because in the Sundarban there were a lot of workshop happening with WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature. So I started involving with those things, like every environment day I'll be going over there. So somehow I was always thinking through my childhood about certain kind of issue, but like in 2004 I came over here and in fine arts. So when I was given exercise, I think this experience came out.
Came back to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So fine art became the bridge who could open me up, and the question that I started asking myself through the exercises given. So I think the topic that came to me eventually by its own, there was no force. I mean, I just started creating the sculpture, and they were talking about various issue of environment.
Finance
So
made you like look at the world differently, or like these issues sort of became of importance. Like
yeah,
you were able to channel them. Yeah. So, what was like the first work, or when did you have this realization? Like, was there a moment?
so my graduation display in 2008, I made couple of work. One of the prominent, like why it was quite dear to me, which was Healing Earth, where the normal IV series that we get from medical for glucose and everything. So that is like 4 feet. What I created was 40 feet. So I wanted to show the impact when I was looking at the Bukhi Nala of Vishwamitri, just behind our fine arts faculty. And I was looking at that thing and the ecology and the crocodile and the dirt dump and the dust which was going inside. So that was the reaction to it, and so I created the contour of the river sort of thing with this similar material, the translucent pipe and those adjusting thing, and the needle which was poking inside the earth. So I was actually thinking that was like how to heal the earth. So in the bottle there was a crocodile toy. So that was the work, and I was actually thinking back of my mind like someday I will definitely do something. I would try to do something on the same subject. So I think that was the beginning point to bring Avtaran. Like after 12 years, I created Avtaran, but there was some sort of
That was a trigger point, and that's where you
yeah,
started thinking.
conscious,
about it.
unconscious maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was there.
So people usually only see one version of your work. So to say it's like a final product. But we all know that that is not the only thing, right? There's so much which happens before and after, and during, or how that final version comes into being. It's you meet your practice is such that you meet people, you travel, you collect pictures, take notes. So the creation part sort of comes in the end. Could you talk a little bit about this process and how you convert all your research into a visual representation?
So all this, the process is quite long, quite interesting. So my pattern of working is I read, research, write down a lot of things. So I sometimes just walk around, I take a travel, I take my motorcycle, I go to certain places. I like to meet people whom I can speak to rather than news. So I collect information from one-to-one questions sort of thing. And I go to the place where something is happening. Then I also meet a lot of researcher, some geographic people, some activists. I go to the library to read about certain things. So museums, So I collect my data and I create a lot of notes. Then the entire, so it's like a lot of information that I
It's a
collect.
lot of data mining that then you harness into.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I have to create one sculpture, so after this data, that becomes quite a bigger challenge because when it's a lot of things are there. So how do I create something which talks about whatever information is there with me? So like when we talk about Avtaran, so after that the entire journey becomes like how it is, how people are going to look at it, from which angle people are going to look at it, where it is. So all those questions comes, they tie up with this thing.
Yeah.
And another interesting part about my journey is it doesn't start. It has no starting point or end point. So one project goes on for a very long time. So for Avtaran, I'm researching since last 3 years. I mean, I can say it was from the college time, but since 3.5 years, 3 years, I'm practically working on this thing. But when I had to create the sculpture, it took me around 6 to 7 months to propose with all the information that I had. So how the shape can be, why the shape is like that. So some fact I want to show in the work. So the real map comes in, and I want to create a narration. So the narration happens from the eye of a crocodile. So I take support of a nature who talks about what is happening. So I became the third party, and crocodile became the first narrator who spoke about it. So I try adding layers and layers. So I want, like, somebody is visiting the sculpture for the first time, they look at certain things. So it's revisit and reoccurrence kind of thing I wanted to show people. So the narration goes on and on and on. Yeah.
And that is evident also, like you can see the arches and spaces of Barodas, and you can see all the crocodiles moving through the sculpture. But is it challenging working in this style?
Yeah, it is challenging in a lot of ways. Not just creating the form and arriving on the final form, but when I'm working on the situation. First thing is the legal permission taking from, because you are intervening in government uh, authority. Like you are trying to question them, you are trying to dig in what is happening. Sometimes we are also involved in stopping what is happening wrong. So those kind of thing, when you are dealing with some issue based work, same as if I'm working in the Gir forest mining area, that is quite risky when there are a lot of issues going on. So how to get in? So that is something that we have to take care when we'll have to use our own methodology so that there is always a safer way, or even if it is not, sometimes we get into issues, but we'll deal with it. So there's always
So, given that we've been in the COVID situation for the entire last year, and that kind of goes against the grain, like your practice is more about getting out into the world and uh, traveling, journeying, meeting people. So, what happened during the COVID phase when you were stuck at home or just limited to your own house or studio?
Um, I thought that it will be very difficult for me to stay inside the house and work because I had very limited material back at my house. You know, some pastel color, some little watercolor, and small papers. But I started, like, in the house, I started looking at whatever I've done throughout my journey of life, and I started finding the links and the issues that I could think more about it. So the best thing is, like, there are a lot of projects that pending in my mind. So I started rewriting about them, and also started to draw and creating maquettes with whatever material I had, and I think that is taking new shape of my practice, and I quite enjoy because I thought that I'll be creating huge work of art, so people also know that I create large scale work. But now I'm also getting slowly into creating small scale works, which I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
The small drawings, small maquettes, prototypes. Yeah.
Has its imperfections with it.
मैंने जब से आपका काम देखा है, भले कॉलेज में हो गया या अभी भी, मैं देखती हूँ कि आपका एक कांस्टेंट सोर्स ऑफ इंस्पिरेशन और इन्फ्लुएंस बड़ौदा, उसका सिटी, और हाउ ये सिटी बढ़ रहा है, पहले कैसा था अभी कैसा है, इन सारी चीज़ों से काफ़ी इन्फॉर्म और इन्फ्लुएंस होता है. तो मैं जानना चाहती थी कि योर वर्क इज़ अ नेवर एंडिंग एंगेजमेंट विद सिटीज़ एंड लाइफ. How do you try to observe the many complex aspects of urban existence?
जब मैं सिटी को देखता हूँ तो मैं देखता हूँ कि सिटी हर समय हर टाइम पर, मतलब रात दिन सिटी चलता रहता है. रुकने का नाम ही नहीं रहता, मतलब बंद कभी नहीं रहता, कुछ ना कुछ चलता रहता है. कुछ चीज टूटती है, कुछ और नई चीज बनती है. तो ये सारी चीजें, मतलब जो परिवर्तन है वो मैं हर रोज देखता रहता हूँ इस चीज को. और दूसरी चीज कि लोग सुबह से रात तक काम करते हैं, और जैसे कि सुबह का टिफिन होता है, फिर जॉब पे जाना, फिर वापस से रात को घर आना, दूसरा दिन भी इसी तरह से रहता है. लोग इस पैटर्न में जी रहे हैं. तो मुझे लगता है कि आर्किटेक्चर, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और फैब्रिकेशन, इसका काफी महत्व का रोल है हमारे कल्चर के लिए. और एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग हम लोग सिटी और सिटी का जो पर्यावरण है, इसको इसके सिटी के अस्तित्व को हम लोग चलाते, मतलब बनाते आए हैं. और दूसरी बात कि जो काम के बारे में, जैसे मैं सिटी का जब मैं सिटी को देखता हूँ या यहाँ के आर्किटेक्चर को देखता हूँ, पुराने, जैसे मेरे घर की बात करूँ या कुछ पुराने आर्किटेक्चर को देखता हूँ, तो इसके जो एलिमेंट है, सिटी के एलिमेंट जो पुराना है, जो उसका कुछ फॉर्म जो मुझे पसंद आता है, वो मैं मेरे काम में मैं यूज करता हूँ. या कुछ उसके जो पैटर्न है या उसके कुछ डिजाइन है, वो मैं मेरे काम में लाता हूँ. बेसिकली मैं पहले एक सिटी के सब छोटे छोटे मैप बनाता हूँ. जैसे अभी हाल में जो मॉडर्न प्लान जो होते हैं, मकान होते हैं, तो वो उस टाइप से मैं शुरुआत करता हूँ. और उसके बाद में कुछ पुराने मकानों के बारे में मैं बात करता हूँ, जो उसके कुछ में फॉर्म है, या वो मैं सिटी के जो कुछ में मेरे काम में यूज करता हूँ. और जब मैं 2002 में जब ITI करता था, तो उसमें इंजीनियरिंग ड्राइंग सब्जेक्ट आता था. उसमें क्या होता था कि आइसोमेट्रिक, एलिवेशन, प्लान, ये सारी चीजें, मतलब इस टाइप का ड्राइंग बनाना होता है.
ये फाइनेंस के पहले था.
हाँ, ये फाइनेंस का पहले का था. तो जब मैं पेंटिंग बनाता था तो मेरे ध्यान में ऐसा ही रहता था. और पहले सब मेरा काम ऐसा फ्लैट जैसा ही होता था, प्लान की तरह. लेकिन फिर मैं कुछ पुराने आर्किटेक्चर को, कुछ ऐसी कुछ आकार को या सिटी के कुछ एलिमेंट को मैं मेरे काम में सेंटर ज्यादा करके मैंने, मतलब सेंटर में मैं उस चीज को कंपोज करता था और रखता था. तो मेरे काम में दो टाइप के पर्सपेक्टिव होते हैं. एक तो प्लान भी होता है और साइड व्यू या फ्रंट व्यू भी होता है.
तो आपका घर आपके लिए इन्फ्लुएंस रहा होगा.
हाँ, जैसे मैं तो वहाँ पर मतलब मैं बड़ा हुआ हूँ, तो मतलब काफी मतलब उसका इन्फ्लुएंस है।
हाँ।
और मैं हाल में मतलब कहीं अगर बाहर मतलब कहीं जाता हूँ तो पता चलता है कि हाँ ये पुराना मकान मतलब काफी
इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है
इम्पोर्टेंट
इसका?
है, या
हाँ।
इसी सब चीजें।
आपका जो घर है उसका शेप है जो, हाँ, वो कितना डिफरेंट है अभी ज्यादा, और भी ज्यादा पता चलता है क्योंकि घर और वगैरह कितने अभी सब एक जैसे
हाँ,
दिखते
नहीं,
हैं।
अभी जो मकान बनते हैं वो सब क्या होता है कि एक पैटर्न के जैसे बनते हैं।
हम्म,
अगर जैसे कि कंक्रीट अभी जो जैसे रूम की अगर हम लोग बात करें, या तो वो एक ही आकार के होते हैं,
हाँ।
ठीक है, मतलब सब एक पैटर्न की तरह होता है। और जो पुराने मकान की जो मैं बात करता हूँ वो क्या होता है कि
हर एक
अ,
अलग।
हर एक हर एक पुराना मकान अलग अलग तरह का था। एक टाइम ऐसा था कि 20वीं सदी का, कि हर जो पुराना मकान एक यूनिक मकान था, एक इम्पोर्टेंट था, एक आइकॉनिक जैसा था, कि उससे हम लोग जानते थे कि हाँ ये पुराना बिल्डिंग इस टाइप का है। उस मतलब वो पुराने मकान बनाने में तो काफी अच्छे से ये कुछ उसकी जो डिजाइन है, उसका जो आर्किटेक्ट, काफी इम्पोर्टेंट सब सारी चीजों का ध्यान रख के वो मकान बनाया जाता था।
जितने अलग फैमिलीज, जितने अलग घर, जितने
हाँ।
डिफरेंट पीपल, वैसे ही उनके वो झलकता था उनके
Yes.
घरों के स्ट्रक्चर्स में।
हाँ, वो सारी चीजें ध्यान में रख के वो इस टाइप से वो मकान बना रहे थे।
हाँ।
पर अभी जो मकान बनते हैं वो सब चीजें क्या होता है कि एक बॉक्स की तरह होता है।
हाँ।
या तो उसी टाइप का ज्यादा भी सब पैटर्न चलता है,
हाँ।
उसी हिसाब से।
विमल, ये जो सीरीज है ना उसका टाइटल मुझे बहुत यूनिक और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगता है। ऐसा लगता है कि चिरस्थायी जो शब्द है वो बहुत कुछ कहता है इस काम के बारे में। आप थोड़ा ये चिरस्थायी जो वर्ड है वो रफली इंग्लिश में एवरलास्टिंग ट्रांसलेट होता है। सो हाउ डज दिस इन्फॉर्म योर करंट वर्क?
चिरस्थायी मतलब मैं समझता हूँ मजबूत रहना, अटल रहना, परमानेंट। जैसे मैं मेरे घर की बात करूँ तो जहाँ पर मेरा बचपन से मैं बड़ा हुआ हूँ, तो काफी इमोशनल मतलब अटैचमेंट है उस घर से। और पुराने जब ये मकान की जब मैं बात करता हूँ तो वो इस तरह से उसका जो इंजीनियरिंग होता है, उसकी जो बनावट होती है, उसका जो आर्किटेक्ट हो, इतना बहुत सारी चीजों को ध्यान में रख के बनाया जाता है। जैसे उसके बड़े हॉल होते हैं, या उसकी जो सीढ़ी होती है, या जिसे चौक बोलते हैं हम लोग, ये सब बहुत सारी चीजें ध्यान में रख के बनाया जाता है। और ये सारी चीजें मतलब मैं सिटी में देखता हूँ बहुत सारी जगह पर, ज्यादातर पुराने मकान होते हैं, ये अलग अलग शेप में बने। मतलब जो पुराने मकान होते हैं, एक टाइम ऐसा था कि पुराने मकान एक आइकॉनिक की तरह दिखते, मतलब उसको दिखते
हाँ।
हैं, या हम लोग जानते हैं उस चीजों
हाँ,
को
हाँ।
कि हाँ मतलब ये पुराना मकान,
हाँ।
एक नाम होता है मतलब उस एक आइकॉनिक की तरह। और ये इसी काम के अंदर मैं ये सब पुराने मकानों को मैंने यूज किया। जैसे जब मैं देखता हूँ तो अलग अलग शेप के होते हैं। जैसे मेरा जो घर है वो एच आकार का है, या जैसे यहाँ पर एक चर्च है, तो मैप की तरह देखता हूँ तो मैं उसको थोड़ा सिंबल की तरह भी देखता हूँ, कि वो मकान का एक सिंबल की तरह भी वो दिखता है। जैसे अगर मैं एमएस की बात करता हूँ, एमएस यूनिवर्सिटी की जो आर्ट फैकल्टी वो ई शेप का है, तो इसका जो मटेरियल है वो काफी मतलब कम मटेरियल में, मतलब इंजीनियरिंग मतलब उसका जो बनावट है वो काफी स्ट्रांग बनावट है उसका। तो ये मतलब मुझे काफी इसमें पसंद आया। और इसका जो कंपोजिशन है, इसका जो कलर है, जब मैं राजस्थान गया था तो वहां भी मतलब कुछ जैसे पुराने मकान है, या वो तो काफी ट्रेडिशनल सिटी है, तो घर में मतलब जैसे यूज हुआ हो जो फ्रेस्को है या वॉल पेंटिंग है, तो बहुत सारी डिजाइन जो मैंने वहां पर देखी। तो यहाँ पर जब मैं आता हूँ घर पे तो मैं देखता हूँ कि हाँ यार ये भी एक घर के अंदर इस टाइप की डिजाइन है मुझे देखने मिलती है। छोटी छोटी चीजें होती है, मतलब छोटी छोटी बारी बारी डिटेलिंग जो होती है, तो वो मैं इस काम में मैं बनाया, लेके आया हूँ। और इसीलिए मैंने इसका पुराना मकान काफी मतलब स्ट्रांग होते हैं, तो मैंने इसका टाइटल चिरस्थायी दिया।
Teja, I had the good fortune to be in college while you were there as well. तो मैंने आपका मास्टर्स डिस्प्ले भी देखा है फाइन आर्ट्स में and in that you had a lot of site specific work where on the campus you had done a lot of installations and little tweaks to the architecture there, a lot of interventions and witnessing your work from scratch to the final presence. I could really like see the impact or the change because it was such a familiar campus. I could feel how they changed the space. So I wanted to first ask you a little bit about that. That it's about the viewer participation in your work, that your works usually invite the viewers to come and explore these quietly radical ideas of space and change or intervention that you seem to propose. Have you always had the impetus to welcome the viewer into the dialogue? And how does scale and dimension play a role in this process or in your work?
So initially, it was more of drawing on two-dimensional paper, where I was dealing with uh, uh, working on line, plane, etc. So there is also a given geometry, and I'm tweaking it where the same thing. That's how I guess I've attracted to a site specific work where there is also a similar way of responding to a limitation where a site brings a certain limitation with it, and you're supposed to respond to it. So I like this idea, and that's how I started working on site specific works more. And while doing that, I discover this like the overall practice is more of perception. It's more around perception, and how uh, in the site specific work where the viewer's perception is so important, how the relation between work and how it is getting perceived by different person, that is something very important here, and I really enjoy that. So I'm bringing this fact in drawing as well, where it was not there earlier, but now I'm like, if I give example where if there is a greed, then there is like, there are certain things which you can perceive from distance, and some are you can unfold it when you have a closer look. And that's how it's about angles, where you have a like in conjunction in this series where there is if you shift that, you have
You
those.
see things better.
Yes, you have
Yeah.
different, I mean, you unfold different things, because that was the whole idea of the conjunction series, where uh, there is something in transit, and a person itself is moving and in transit, and so yeah.
Yeah. Talking about conjunctions and your process, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about drawing and what role it plays. Like, like, is it a separate entity, or do they work as a study for a sculpture, or what is it?
Yeah, so it is not study for sculptures. It is not that uh, drawing comes first or sculpture comes first and vice
Hmm.
versa. So it is a parallel process where, I mean, I can also say that it is not necessary that I think in drawing, though
Huh.
it is my own medium where I practice as a painter. So, I mean, drawing is something, it's very much a daily basis thing where, it's kind of a diary where, again, I work only with a certain size where I don't really go out of A4. So it is kind of, noting your thought down, and, taking it for a long and then switching to another thought. So it's more of a daily practice. Yeah.
A daily log of your thoughts, like an extension of your mind or your thought process. Since you're even trained as a painter, I guess it comes to you more naturally to put down your thoughts in 2D,
Yeah.
I guess.
Again, it is not necessary that drawing comes first, and so sometimes, like, if I say some site gives me a idea in three-dimensional itself, so sometimes idea comes in 3D itself, and then I thought of how I can translate it into two-dimensional. So it is something like so there is an idea, and then I switch different scale or different mediums in respect to that work. So that's how everything is connected to like size connected to medium, and medium connected to subject. So whenever something change in between, so everything get changed. So
Yeah, even like a scale, it's very it's never the same. So is it planned? Like you planned earlier to do large scale works, and now you're working in a small scale format. Was there any such
uh,
is
there is
there any such division, or is it like more case to case
yeah,
basis?
so if I say like uh, drawings, it's always a similar size, but when it comes to sculpture or site specific work, it's always a response to a space itself. So what that space required, or that material required, or the form required, that's how I derive to the scale. So it depends upon, and it's challenging to like every time it's different. So and I really want to keep doing these experiment in different, like how these forms can go in different uh, kind of spaces and different scale. So
So there's also this scale thing and the mediums and how you handle them. I would like to take the example of again conjunctions, the series which you've given for hindsight, and I just wanted to ask you a little bit from that. I guess this is the first time that you're presenting three different mediums together in one body, like showing one idea. Usually, it's like if it's a brick sculpture, all the the full series is in uh, is made with brick and mortar and all of that. But here there is brass, digital drawings, and hand like pencil drawings, and all three of them talk about the same thing. This is also the first time that you're presenting works which are made in a digital format or in brass. So could you talk a little bit about the choices, your material choices, how you make them, or how what is the instinct behind them?
yeah, so as I said, it's always about with a notion of experimenting with different size and different medium. So that was one, and parallelly it is again depend upon situation. Like it was from the lockdown time where I was stuck with my own material, where I was I usually work with tiny brick, and now there is like I was not able to do that. So this when I was looking at those sculptures in brick, and when I was thinking of uh, those maquettes, the smaller maquettes, I thought of how I can how I can respond to uh, different scale if it is not site specific for this subject. If it is not a sculptural, then what will be the another size. So this the idea of casting, where I first time use brass, because the metal and the casting process itself is something I found it very uh, close to the subject, where I'm talking about a transformation, or the that movement, or the the growing time, where it is something is not concrete, though it is something unfinished and uncertain things, which we usually get in cast, where there are porals, and there are things you can get the structure, but it's not
It's not perfect. The
full.
material itself has its imperfections with it.
Yes, and even I was willing to I was willing to have that shift between how that tiny scale gives a certain kind of a weight to vision, and actually it's quite heavy, so that kind of shift also I was thinking of bringing it to the.
So that was our assistant curator, Ayushi Beniwal, in conversation with Deepak, Rugain, Bimal, and Teja. We'll now be opening up the floor to questions. First up, we have a question for Rugain. Rugain, can you switch on your video? Yep.
Yes.
So Murugen, the question for you is that about the kind of textiles you use for your Avtaran sculptures, and are these recycled, reclaimed textiles?
Okay. I usually, when I'm doing certain kind of site-specific installation, I use the local fabric, local material. When I have to, discard the sculpture, I use certain kind of material which are like organic, biodegradable and all. But for this series of Avtaran, what fabric that I'm using, because I have to create a geometrical shape, which I'm talking about, I'm taking reference of a landscape that can be seen, and also it works with the Google image starts. So when I'm showing, so how we see it from a farscape as a grid. So I started using the checks as a reference, and if I want to match the entire scale, it looks like a scale. So I use a particular checks pattern. And also when I was creating the first Avtaran in 2018, that was the time when I was looking at a lot of designers, like those apparel designers and other people. They were using checks as their the kala kapas, and a lot of things were coming, like South Cotton. They all were producing checks. So I quite like the idea of when you look at the work, when the same way when you look at somebody wearing certain kind of fashion, so it should match with the time. So I was also looking at the time when it was created. So this particular for Avtaran, it is not a biodegradable natural dye or something like that, but it is uh, purely cotton that I'm using.
Yeah, because I mean the whole idea about Avtaran and ecology and river bodies and pollution, and one cannot escape from the fact that garment industry is like one of the largest polluters. Um, so in those terms, I think the question was framed key. How do you look at reclaimed textiles?
Uh, reclaimed textile, it's like it's a quite a large scale sculpture. So to find out that much of pieces and to create the language of, like again the visual, I found this particular fabric which I could source from nearby store. So I actually went for it, and I have used, looking at the interior of Arc, or when I'm supposed to create it for certain kind of interiors where they will have to create something which is like more permanent and long lasting. So I thought of selecting this fabric. But if I have the opportunity to create somewhere where I can go, uh, you know it has a lot of, if I have a lot of time and all, so I would definitely like to work with it. I've used fabric, certain kind of fabric in my past works, which are recycled, reclaimed, and or completely local, which I can, after the work is done, I can donate it to somebody, or I can keep it with me forever, like my towel. Yeah.
Although I think, I mean, the recycled textiles or reclaimed textiles, I think that will also add a very interesting dimension of like, collaboration with either communities or organization, which can also be, and I am sure like that is also a very important aspect of your work as well, when you collect notes and meet people and, it's also kind of like an exchange of information.
Yes.
Next question is for Teja. Um, have you taken any reference for drawing and sculpture?
So basically, first I need to thank gallery, our team for this opportunity and attendees for their time. Coming to the question, yeah. So basically, I worked with geometry, and that's the only thing I worked with. But I see things like so when I said geometry, and it's also connected to architectural spaces. So that's how I look at corners, or walls, or let's say a beam, or the element, architecture element. So I look at those, and I took that as a reference, and so something which is from the surrounding, those are my references, or the geometry itself. Yes.
One more thing to add, this question was asked by Prithviraj Sahu. Thank you, Prithviraj. We also have a question for Deepak. You use very simple materials such as pen, pencil, graphite, and paper to create works. Further, I also feel that they are equally important to your work. Can you elaborate a little more about the materials that you use for your work?
मैं एक्चुअली मटेरियल मतलब मैं इनिशियली जो ग्राफाइट है, ग्राफाइट इटसेल्फ अ मटेरियल, जो उसका पेंसिल में करता हूँ, उसके साथ अभी मैंने चारकोल भी चालू किया हुआ है उसके साथ, और उसके साथ ग्लास मार्कर भी किया हुआ है, क्योंकि आई जस्ट wanted to know the importance of the material as well as material, how the material defines something. So material से कैसे एक conversation भी हो सकता है, और उसके साथ just try to being in the time that observing things in a settled way, I feel. So I think the graphite for now, graphite को मैं ज़्यादा ड्राइंग के लिए तो उसको एक एज अ मीडियम मैंने कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूँ, तो वो छोड़ के अलग अलग मीडियम में भी मैं काम कर रहा है, जो जैसे ऑब्जर्वेशन डेवलप हो रहा है कैसे मीडियम के लिए मुझे सजेशन मिल रहा है, उसके हिसाब से मैं मटेरियल को चॉइस कर रहा हूँ. So it's like for now it's like a tool to find something, I feel.
Also, I think Deepak, your work is also very minimal in that sense. I mean, it's very intense, and I mean, when one look at it closely, there's a lot of underlayers. But I also think it's very minimal in its visual, and I think that's why also the role of medium becomes, I guess, very important. Like what best suits your thought process to actually give it a visual meaning.
But even yeah, that is also there. I feel even material itself, there is a very complexion in the material, I feel. So when I try to work with the material, I try to engage with the material only sometimes. Try to find something in the material, not about the subject, or not about things which I want to. I just try to observe with the material, and I feel visually it is a minimal. It looks like minimal, but I feel it's very challenging and complex in a way that for me to कॉन्वर्जेशन करने की, तो उसके साथ सो दैट इज व्हाई आई फील वो जो चीज बदलता रहता है, तो वो उसका हिसाब से मैं प्रोसेस को इम्पोर्टेंस देते देते मैं चॉइस करता हूँ कि उसके लिए क्या जरूरी है, तब भी मैं एक मीडियम को मैं चॉइस करता हूँ. सो नाउ आई एम स्टिल टू नो दैट हाउ आई कैन understand the graphite. There is a more dimension for the material. There is a lot of things to know in that material, I feel. So yeah.
टॉकिंग अबाउट मीडियम, विमल आपके लिए एक क्वेश्चन है कि जैसे दीपक अभी बता रहा है कि मीडियम उनके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर विमल इज कि जब आप, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है सिटी आपके लिए एक काइंड ऑफ मीडियम है काम करने के लिए, यू नो, अपार्ट फ्रॉम द कलर्स एंड ऑफ कोर्स, बट सिटी, तो व्हाट आर दोज एस्पेक्ट्स या ऐसी क्या चीजें हैं वो सिटी के बारे में जो आपको एक्साइट करती हैं?
मुझे मतलब सिटी में पुरानी चीज़ें काफ़ी मतलब एक्साइट करते हैं. पुराने मकान है या कुछ इस टाइप की जो बिल्डिंग्स होती है, जो ट्रेडिशनली बिल्डिंग्स होती है, वो मुझे काफ़ी अट्रैक्ट करती है. क्योंकि मैं दो चीज़ों को देखता हूँ, पुराने घर को भी देखता हूँ और कुछ नए घर को भी देखता हूँ. तो ये दोनों का जो कॉन्ट्रास्ट है, तो वो मुझे अपने मतलब एक्सेप्ट मतलब अट्रैक्ट करता है, ये सब्जेक्ट मतलब ये विषय.
And is how do you look at city? आप कैसे देखते हैं? Is it as a home या ऐसी कोई evolving being जो कि बढ़ता जा रहा है, या आपका सिटी को देखने का नजरिया कैसा है?
जैसे कि अगर हम लोग मैं सिटी को देखता हूँ, तो सिटी जो है वो गांव में से डेवलप हुआ सिटी है. मतलब टेढ़े मेढ़े रास्ते या उस समय में, जैसे मैं कुछ पुराने मकान के कुछ इमेजेस देखता हूँ कभी कभार, तो एक सिंपल पुराना मकान होता है और आजू बाजू पूरा मैदान होता है, पर उसी मकान के आसपास धीरे धीरे करके सब कुछ डेवलप हो गया है. वो सिटी धीरे धीरे बढ़ने लगा है. तो मेरे घर की मैं बात करूं, जैसे मेरा घर भी पुराना है, तो उसके आसपास भी काफी सारी चीजें सब डेवलप हो गई है. धीरे धीरे करके पूरा सिटी इस तरह से इतना डेवलप हो गया है. एक जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि पुराना मकान में, जैसे मैं बात कर रहा हूँ कि एक मकान के तो सारी चीजों की व्यवस्था करके वो मकान बनाया जाता है. जो सब चीजें, हॉल है या चौक है, रहने के लिए जगह है, किचन है, ये सब चीजें. और अब क्या होता है, जैसे मॉडर्न मकान जो बन रहे हैं वो पूरा पैटर्न की तरह, पर चेंजेस ये हो गया कि खाने के लिए होटल भी बन गई है, खेलने के लिए मैदान भी बन गए. तो इस तरह से सिटी धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहा है. तो मैं इस तरह से देखता हूँ.
Teja, we have a question for you from Girija Nambiar. Usually you work in a larger scale. While making these small brass works, how did change in scale and size affect your experience of space?
Yeah, so I always like to switch to different scale. That's very important in my practice, because I mean the way the whole process is that it's more of responding to the situation. So if it is like before Baroda, it was a smaller scale. Then coming to Baroda, I see everything horizontal. I moved to a larger scale, and again when I'm back now in my tiny studio workplace, where again things are getting changed. So that's how even the lockdown, where we are at home and you really cannot produce something by going out. So it was dealing with the situation, like what I can bring with this in this time. So, but yeah, I mean that was regarding scale, and I mean each space is a space. So whatever it is, it's tiny or it's sculpture or it's large. So I mean, I'm curious to look at all kind of spaces. So 3 dimensional का जो भी various scale है, even 2 dimensional, maybe I always look at that space. So yeah, but here it was the only thing that the material which it was quite new for me that time in the series.
I also feel like the reflection. I mean, those of you who haven't seen the exhibition, please, I mean, go have a look at all the works. But I'll just give a brief that these brass sculptures have very interesting reflective surface, and I guess that also adds a totally. I mean, we talk about 2D and 3D, but I guess reflection totally adds a new dimension, to a work.
Yeah, of course.
Also, I think, I mean, when you talk of this transition and, movement, I think the material somehow really, defines that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So earlier it was more of brick sculptures in this series, and when I've moved to that scale and working with the metal, I thought of this that glossy and reflectiveness, which was important because of the whole series is about conjunction and that transformation and the movement. So the reflection gives it's kind of a helpful to go close to the subject. So I thought of it was a try to get close to the subject in this manner.
To continue with the question that I asked to Teja, I mean, was raised to Teja about scale and size. There is a question by an anonymous attendee to Brugain about exactly the same thing. Like, you work with site-specific works and, mostly known for like huge scale installations. And how was your experience, getting all of that into a gallery space, in a limited space, and also a little bit, if you can give information about your display, that also help give the attendees an idea about how it went.
See, I think this is also quite interesting. I don't know how to explain, but it's not like I always think which is large scale. It is the site which is always giving me hint to, if I have to do something at certain places. So when I was like, long time back, if we talk about on the Kerala beach, I created 25 turtles. So if they were like life size turtle, I had to create 25. So the number increases. So it depends on the space and everything. So if the space is gallery and the gallery is based in Baroda, so when I was asked to have a show in Baroda where I'm living, and so the first thing that I wanted to share is like people have seen Avtaran as a sculpture which is like 110 feet long, but people have not seen the story of it. So I just thought of showing how I got into it, like how I spent like 7 months, how I created a journey. I made a journey from the starting point of the Vishwamitri to where it meets the ocean at Khambat. So the entire journey was important, and I was documenting with the camera, and I was like writing what people were telling me. So I am keeping each and every papers that so the entire documentation is there in the gallery kept it. And also the proposal drawings that when Landscape India, Aniket Bhagwat and Smruti Bhagwat, they came and they were showing me like how I was proposing to them. So the entire journey is there when I'm exhibiting. So if somebody get a chance to see the show, it will be even better. But we'll try to post them some other place, like some media, so people can understand how it is. And I quite enjoy also the small scale work. And I just discovered that during the lockdown period, I'm enjoying. So maybe in future, I will be coming up with more small scale work, not for the gallery sake, but for my own idea.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that response, Mrugen. Unfortunately, we are going to have to close the session now. We have far exceeded our schedule and obviously taken some diversions along the way. But thank you all for staying with us through the session. We have treated you like friends and been quite candid. I hope you all have enjoyed the session. And please visit our viewing room just to get an idea about the show. And again, a reminder for all those who are based in Baroda, please call us or WhatsApp us or email us and get an appointment. We are open. That's it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for attending. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that as many of you can come and experience the show while it's physically there, and if not, our online viewing room is at your disposal.
And a big thank you to our artists for being cooperative and for, I'm sure like this session might have given a brief idea about your practices to all our attendees. Thank you.